So today I am making chicken drumsticks. As you can see here, I have seasoned and cleaned and washed them, along with 3 macaroni and cheese from scratch. Elbow macaroni using American cheese, mozzarella cheese, and cheddar cheese. As I have seasoned and got everything prepared, that's the macaroni boiling. And this, I am making my own cheese sauce, so it's truly from scratch. So now I have the noodles drained and cooked. And I also have the chicken, put it in the pan. I'm gonna add my own little sauce, kind of like a stock to it that I created myself, just to give it a flavor and make sure it cooks all the way through. And I also have my cheese sauce. I'm just gonna let that caramelize and melt so it can be creamy and saucy for the macaroni and cheese. Okay, so now we're gonna pour the hot macaroni and cheese noodles. They were sitting in the water, so they're kind of not separated. But we're gonna get that. I'm gonna put on some gloves to mix everything together. I'm gonna put 1 egg in here. Crack the egg open. And a tablespoon of milk just to spread it thoroughly. Now I'm gonna mix all the cheeses. I have the Americans. Some of them are sliced, some of them is shredded. But they'll both be used for the same purpose. So couple slices of American cheese, couple slices of like the cheddar cheese, and I'm just gonna mix it in just to get it the way it needs to be. Not gonna melt now, but after I put it in the oven, I also have my oven preheated to 350 to make sure it gets nice and hot. And I also have cheddar cheese slices. Just gonna put few of those slices in there, and that's 2 cheeses. I also have mozzarella cheese. I don't know if people like me, I love cheese, but I don't want to make it too cheesy, so I'm just gonna mix that in there again. This might not look like a lot of cheese now, but once it melts and it gets stringy and melted, and I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of pepper on here because macaroni didn't have enough when I drained the noodles, so it wasn't really that much. But I'm not gonna put too much. And I have to make sure I mix it in because the egg is in there. You don't want a whole egg, just the egg, and it be in the middle of it. But just enough. Make sure you mix it very well. Making a little bit of a mess, but just to make sure everything is well mixed in together. So I'm going to sprinkle some more just for the top coat. Some more cheddar cheese. just to make it be a base. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven. So before I put it in the oven, I'm gonna sprinkle the cheese mix that I made. Now this cheese mix came out to be very thick, but it's still very rich and creamy, just the way I need it to be, so it can all mix in with the shredded cheese that's already in there. Make sure everything is well mixed together and make sure it's just creamy, so it can be a real cheesy base. So here's the finished, well, not finished, but I already have the oven preheated to 350, so now I'm just gonna put it in and wait for it to get. So the chicken has been sitting in the broth and boiling for quite a while. I flipped 2 of them. I'm just gonna flip them just so they can be evenly cooked as well as the other ones. So I'm just gonna put the top back on it and let those finish. And I also have my peas that I had a little bag of peas that were already cooked. They were frozen, so I had to let them thaw. And I put a little butter in there. And I also put salt and pepper just to give it more flavor. So now what I'm gonna do is get the chicken and transfer it to the grill, which I've had it preheating already for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so it's nice and warm. Get the chicken, put it on there, and let it do its job. And just to make sure the chicken is not dry, I'm gonna put a little seasoning on it, and also I'm gonna put the rest of the stock that I made just to make sure it's not dry. Took the mac and cheese out of the oven just to see how it was doing and give it a stir, so the same parts of the noodles won't get hard because they're on the top, so they're getting all the heat. So just stir it around and put it back in the oven. Make sure it's still got that rich and creamy feel to it because of the sauce and the milk. And if you want it a little more creamier, you can just add a little tablespoon or so of milk just so it doesn't dry out. But I'm gonna put it back in the oven. And here's the finished product of the macaroni and cheese. As you can see, the grains of shredded cheese. And here's the chicken, seasoned very well. And the peas, they weren't really that much work because they were frozen, but I did add butter and pepper to my liking. And that is the completed meal, as well as I have a piece of my cheesecake that I made from scratch. It has one side with graham cracker crust crumbs on the top. So I have that to complete the meal, and there it is. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has supported me, helped me, shared, subscribed, everything to this channel. And stay tuned because there will be more. I just want to say thank you.